All right, guys, good morning and happy Webinar Wednesday. It's Alyssa here from your Spa Performance team. I appreciate everyone being on time today. We're going to go ahead and get started. So today our webinar is about making sure that your spa is set up for success and to make some money, right? Because that's what we're all in this business to do, right? Is make some more money. I think we'll be all happier if we can make some more money, right? So this webinar is going to be a little different than maybe something you've sat on before. I think that a topic like this can easily be turned into customer experience or can easily be turned into talking about staffing and leadership. And while those things are very, very great and very important, that's not necessarily what we're talking about today. So just an overview of some of the things that we're going to go over. Everything that we're talking about today is making sure that we're taking full advantage of every inch of the square footage that's in our spa and making sure that we're taking advantage of it for sales opportunities. That's what we talk about constantly, right? How many sales have you made today? How many sales did we miss out on today? Everything that we talk about, from the staff that we hire to how we're handling our training efforts, to even what products and services we're going to carry in our spa, it's all based on increasing our sales. So we want to make sure that we're not shooting ourselves in the foot by, kind of screwing up or messing up on some of these other areas. So we're going to talk about how to maximize your sales with your retail shelving, the setup of your spa rooms, and just kind of taking advantage of all of the space that you have in your store. So the first that we're going to talk about, shop by color. What does that mean, right? I don't know if you guys know, but there's actually a lot of tricks that a lot of retail stores use to entice customers to want to come into their store, and it can actually enhance or decrease their want to buy. It can even affect how much they're going to spend on a purchase on that day or on that visit to your store. So we're going to look at some of the popular colors that are in our Planet Beach, and we're going to talk a little bit about what these colors are saying to your customers and how that's affecting their spending habits during their visit in your store. The first color, yellow. This is a very popular color that we see in some of our older Planet Beach locations, some that may have our Santa Monica sunset image. So what does yellow tell a customer, right? This is a very popular color for fast food restaurants. It evokes energy and increases appetite. Perhaps explaining why your stomach may start to growl when you pass those golden arches, right? So what is this saying to our customer? Let's think about some stores or some popular brands, right, that use that color yellow to help represent who they are. McDonald's for sure, right? We already talked about that with the golden arches. Hardee's, Tim Hortons, Burger King, Forever 21, Long John Silver's. Most of these are fast food restaurants, right? Either fast food restaurants or we talked about Forever 21. That's somewhere that you come in, it's a mess. It's almost on the same level as a fast food joint, right? You're hoping to get in and out. Things are a mess. Things are all over the place. Things are disorganized. And typically at a very, very low cost, you can purchase some items. Is this what we want to say to our customers, right? Do we want to put ourselves in that same category as some of these brands that we just talked about? Sure, some of these are extremely successful. But do we want to, put ourselves in that category of having a cheap product or somewhere that someone doesn't have to come in and spend money? No, we want them to come and spend money, right? And we don't want them to expect low quality from our products or from their end results that they're going to be seeing. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Because this is research. This is not coming from me. This is not coming from Planet Beach. This is coming from, hard scientific research that's saying that colors have this effect on your clients. Another popular Planet Beach color, right? Orange. What does orange say about us? The color is associated with fairness, affordability, and that's why you'll find it at stores offering good value. So that's not negative, right? We want to be fair. We're pretty affordable, and we definitely want to be viewed at as, offering a good value, right? Let's look at some stores that have orange in their brand, right, or in their logo. Definitely Home Depot, Payless, right? We talked about that. Family Dollar, Hobby Lobby. Now, these aren't necessarily brands that are negative, right? Or, you know, have anything, we don't have anything against them, right? These are popular brands that I know. I love Hobby Lobby, shop there constantly. Home Depot is one of my boyfriend's favorite, places to go. It's kind of one of those, like it's saying, you know that you're going to get their prices and you know that you're going to have a pretty good value or a pretty good product to take home. But what might that be telling our customer? Maybe that's telling our customer that, very similar to the yellow, that we're very cheap, right? So we may be successful selling some lower price products or some lower price memberships, but we may be having a hard time selling these higher price products or these higher price memberships, just because the color, right, of our walls, the color of our marketing items, the stuff that we're putting out there in the universe to try and attract new clients to us, that, without us even realizing it, is telling them that we have extremely affordable prices. And we all know affordability means different things to different people. So what may be affordable to me may not necessarily be affordable to you. So you don't want your customers having an expectation of extremely low prices and then being a little shocked when they come in, or not necessarily seeing the value and spending that much in a place like this where they were under the assumption that, they were going to be able to get some products for lower prices. Purple, right? This is probably the most popular Planet Beach color. Purple, right? Everything Planet Beach is purple. Our new reimage is purple. A lot of our products are now, getting more and more purple into them. But what does purple necessarily say to your customer? Purple reigns in the beauty industry, especially in the category of anti-aging products. When people see it, they think of royalty. So a purple box may actually help persuade us that this product has special properties in it and it's worth a princely sum, right? Well, that's not negative at all. We are definitely moving more into the beauty and wellness category. And we definitely want our customers to look at us as being, someone that's really great in the beauty industry, someone that can definitely help in their anti-aging efforts, right? We have everything that we offer is help to increase their skincare, right? Whether it's our red light therapy for anti-aging, whether it's our hydrodermafusion to help with moisture and general skincare, or even our infrared heat, right? Our hot box, our infrared saunas, our slim capsules. These are all helping us in that area to make us more attractive, right, to anyone looking for any general beauty and wellness. So purple is definitely going to help us in that area, right? And we talk about it being, when they see it, they think of royalty. Let's think of some other brands that have purple in their logo or actually in their store, right? So we have Hallmark. Hallmark, that's the king of any of the card industry, right? So you're definitely reigning in that category. Yahoo, there's very little companies that are more successful than Yahoo. FedEx, they are definitely reigning seniority in the shipping and handling category, as well as Lakers, right? Lakers may not be too great of a basketball team this season or last, right? But when you think about the history of the NBA, when you think about NBA in general, of course, Lakers are probably on the top of the list of brands, right, that come to mind. Another color that you'll see in Planet Beach is black. This is going to be the signature color of sophistication. It dominates high-end makeup packaging and can even make inexpensive blushes and lipsticks seem more upscale. That's definitely a color that we want to push and keep in our store, right, is black. And I think that we can all relate to that. I mean, if you're looking in your purse, you're looking in your closet, you see a lot of black, right? It's very simple, it's very classy, and it's ageless. It never goes old, right? And that's why we're definitely incorporating more black into our spas as well, whether it's our uniforms, whether it's our furniture or the decorations. We want us to look high scale. We want us to be more of a high-end place that your customers can come in and they're going to expect to get a good quality beauty product. I don't think we really need to go into too much detail on which logos are black, right? We have Chanel, Yves Saint Laurent, Adidas, Gucci, Prada, Hermes. I mean, it goes on, right? And when you think about those brands with that color, it's very high end, and you're expecting to spend a pricely sum, and that's not a bad thing to expect when people come in here, right? When our clients come in, we want them to see our decoration, we want them to see our Planet Beach and say, hey, this has got to be expensive. And when they hear our prices, they're shocked, right? They're, wow, I get all this for only that price. That's the kind of perspective that you want from them rather than the opposite. And then white, the last color that we're going to talk about. And branding white suggests simplicity and purity. So what in our spa is white? Most of our skincare products, right? And we talk about them being all natural and holistic. So of course we want them to be white. We want people to understand that these are simple products made from organic ingredients that are going to help with their skincare and not have anything that's not pure, honest in there. So we just wanted to go over that very, very quickly, just letting you guys know, whenever we're talking about a reimage or when we're talking about looking at your spa, there are some things that, something as simple as the color on the paint on your wall may be having such an effect on your sales that you don't even realize it. So we wanted to go through that very quickly. The next that you'll see at some retailers that you probably never even realized before is that they'll choose their music pretty wisely to get you in a certain mindset to either want to get you rushed in, right, in and out, or to slow you down. There's even a certain kind of music that will help you or entice you to buy a higher price product. So what do I mean by that? High volume or high tempo music, and sometimes this is, both, right? They'll play high tempo music at a high volume, whether it's a retail store or a restaurant. Well, that's for a reason, right? Sure, some locations or some stores, some retailers play music without giving it too much thought, but for the majority of the time, they have kind of like an end game in sight, right? Or end goal in sight. And that's to either slow you down or rush you out. So when you go to a restaurant, or a fast food restaurant, right, that's playing a high tempo music at high volume, they're trying to get you in and out. And you don't seem to realize how quickly or how long you've been in there when you have that kind of music going on in the background. So that's something that's kind of important to see. So think about your store. How loud is your music? Not only are we talking about, what kind of experience we're providing for our customers, but are we rushing them in and out? Are we turning and burning? Are we still in that mindset of a tanning salon? Or are we playing low tempo music at a low volume to relax and slow our members down? So that's very important to get them to slow down, to open up that conversation, and to give us that opportunity to sell them. If they're rushing in and out, we don't have that opportunity to talk to them about our sales or talk to them about our product of the week. So think about that. Something as simple as how loud you're playing your music can make a huge effect on your sales opportunities that you are not creating in your store. And then instrumental music. So research actually shows that when you play music in your store with no lyrics, or just simply either classical or instrumental, that it can actually entice a consumer to buy a higher priced product. Now, there's, several different explanations of why this may happen, but hey, we don't really need to know all the details, right? As long as you tell me that if I play instrumental music, it's going to help our consumers want to purchase a higher priced product, or, feel that they want to treat themselves or feel more sophisticated that day at that moment, hey, I'll do it, right? So just some quick, simple things. And how easy is it for you to change your music in the store? So easy. So if it's something that simple that we can change that's going to help promote a more sales-friendly environment, why wouldn't you do it? So those were just some quick tricks that some of these retailers are using, right? They're using the color, they're using the sound of the music that's playing on in their store to trigger your brain in a certain way to make you either want to spend more money or want to spend more time in a certain store. So talking about Planet Beach specifically, because of course everyone on this webinar today is either a Planet Beach owner, a spa director, a spa consultant, right? We want to hear some specifics. So before we go into some do's and don'ts for our retailing and for our services, right, in just the general lobby area, what are some Planet Beach faux pas, right? What are some things that we may be doing that are doing the opposite of promoting a sale, right? It may be hindering a sale. A chair or stool behind the podium. If you have a chair or a stool behind the podium, please, please, please throw that thing in the trash. All that's doing is promoting your staff to be lazy and to have a seat, right? And if they're having a seat behind the desk, there's a very good chance that they're not getting up from behind the desk to walk members to their rooms or to clean services, do laundry, talk to consumers as they're waiting for their next service. So huge, huge, huge faux pas is having a chair or stool behind the podium. Look at your lobby area. Where is your seating facing? Is it facing your front podium? Is it facing a service? Is it facing the front door? Or is it facing your product shelves? We should always, always, always have our customers and our members waiting. Now, does that mean waiting 10, 15 minutes for a service? Absolutely not. But we should be having them sign in and have a seat while we check on their room. So that's giving us a good 20, 30, maybe even a minute, 20, 30 seconds to a minute that your members are sitting there, right? So what do we have for them to look at? Do we have a service offering book on the coffee table? Do we have any kind of specials or anything going on, anything around that they can kind of look at and pick up, right? Are they facing the product shelves so that when we talk about some do's and don'ts for our product shelves, they're seeing new products, they're getting excited. Something that simple, right? Having them face the product shelves, because what are they going to do when they're waiting? Let's be honest, a lot of us are extremely ADD. They're either going to pull out their phone or they're going to stand up and they're going to walk to your shelves. Is your guest and your member register at the podium? Sure, we definitely promote, for the most part, you having your guest register behind the podium, just because your guests are coming in, they're putting in a lot more confidential information on there, their phone number, their address, things like that. But what about your member register? Why would you have that at the podium? Do you want your clients coming in and coming straight to the podium and straight from the podium to a service room? We don't, right? Because what are we missing in between there? We're missing those sales opportunities. We're missing that opportunity for them to have a seat to face the product shelves or to possibly have to walk around and see any kind of advertisements or marketing that we have going on for any specials that we're pushing that week. So make sure that you're moving that over, and it may take a little while for you to get your members in the habit, a day, 2 days, maybe even a week at most, but it will be so worth it in the end, and you're not going to necessarily have that member coming up and standing in front of you at the podium, creating that almost like a sense of urgency that you have to hurry up and get them in a service or get them in the room because you feel rushed, because they're rushing you, they're in your face. You definitely don't want to put yourself in that position. So move that register over by the lobby area to have them have a seat, right? And face that product shelves. That will give you so much time and so much of an opening to be able to talk to them about any kind of specials or products or anything that you have going on. Are you using an empty room as an office? Maybe there was a service that you had that's no longer in service, or maybe when you had the design of your store, you just left an empty room, right? Just in case you might decide to add a service later on. How are you using that room? Are you using it to promote another service, right? Are you looking to add another service in there pretty soon? Are you using it as a consultation room? Or are you using it as an office? If you're using it as an office or storage, that is quality square percentage that you're missing out on, right? So make sure that you're not taking up quality space in your spa that you could be using to make more sales by having it as a storage, or having filing systems in there that's just collecting dust and isn't doing anything to help promote or increase your sales. So if you're saying, you know what, I do have this empty room, but I just can't afford a new service right now. Depending on what services you have, we definitely have more affordable services. Guided meditation, our new PBFC facial unit is extremely affordable, as well as oxygen units. I mean, we could definitely go on and on, But if we're absolutely at that point, I cannot spend another dollar, why not take some of the furniture that we have now and turn that room into a consultation room? A lot of our stores are missing out on not having an area to give one-on-one consultations with our members. And what tends to happen is those consultations fall short. We end up not having them, or we're forced to have them standing up in the lobby or sitting on the couch in the lobby while other members are around. And that can certainly hinder a sale. So think about putting a small table and chairs in there and having that room as your quiet space for you to bring a new guest and have that one-on-one consultation, give them that skincare consultation, have those ambassador conversations, or even a cancellation consultation, right? You definitely want to make sure that you're having those one-on-one and you're making that customer feel comfortable. And so that's a great way that you can turn that empty room into something that's going to help promote and increase more sales. Non-efficient or non-existing filing system. Why is this important? Why is this a faux pas, right? Sure, you definitely want to make sure that you're keeping everything filed, of course. I mean, for legality, to protect yourself, you need to make sure you're keeping release forms, agreements, and such, right? But what do I mean by this as far as it comes to making or breaking a sale, right? 'Cause that's what we're here to talk about, making a sales-friendly environment. Well, if you have your staff and they're not completely trained or aware of a certain filing system, and they're spending extremely too much time, either we have something that is an extravagant filing system, right? They have to put personal spot profiles here, release forms in another room, agreements in another file, and it gets to be too much to where your spot consultants are more focused on the organization and filing that they're unable to spend that quality time with the members, then yes, it's absolutely going to hinder a sale. Or non-existent filing, right? What does that mean, non-existent? Well, if you just throw everything somewhere with no sense of purpose, no sense of organization, then what's going to happen when a customer comes in? Hey, I was supposed to be frozen and I got charged this month, or I thought I was canceled out. What's happening? What are your consultants having to do now? Now they're having to search through piles and piles of paperwork to see if there was any sign of a freeze form, a cancellation form, a membership agreement. You don't want to have that situation where, again, your consultants are too focused on either filing something or having to look for a piece of paper rather than spending that time that they have in the store promoting and increasing more sales. Important documents not printed and readily available. This goes into the filing system, right? If you don't have all those important files, right? Your guest register, your member register, your personal spot profile, your regime builder, your skincare consultation cards, your referral sheets, your release forms, all those things. If you don't have those printed and readily available for your spot consultants for at the drop of a dime, if a new guest comes in and they're having to now look on Orion, download these files, print them out, and all meanwhile your guest is just sitting there waiting, then that can absolutely hinder a sale, right? You want to make sure that you have all those available and on a clipboard and easy to find so that at any point, if your consultants are extremely busy and a new guest comes in, they're all ready for them. They don't have to worry about printing anything out. We talked about no consultation area, right? We already talked about that and the benefits of turning an empty room into a consultation area. But what happens if we don't have an empty room? A lot of us don't. I mean, we don't have that luxury of having that much space to even have storage, or hey, maybe not even a laundry room in some cases. But we can easily turn other areas into a consultation area. It doesn't necessarily have to be a room. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the lobby, right? We can easily use our hall space or a small little nook in the back of the spa and put a couple chairs and a small table there, even if it's tight, just to have that as your designated consultation area. That way when you do have red appointments, you do have new guests coming in, you have somewhere specific that you can take them and have that quiet one-on-one conversation without having any distractions. And the same for an ambassador consultation, cancellation consultation, anything of that sort. A huge faux pas is no marketing material, right? Do you have guest passes printed and ready to hand out? What about spa bucks? What about business cards for your staff? And hopefully, if you have extremely high employee retention, not even just your spa director, right? Your spa consultant should have business cards as well. It's going to boost their self-esteem. They're going to feel more important, right? And then your guests are going to feel like your spa consultants are more important as well, as when they join, that spa consultant is able to hand them a business card with their name and number on it. Because again, that's your personal spa consultant, right? That also creates a little bit of an experience. But if we don't have those items to hand to our guests as they're walking out the door, or ambassador cards to talk to them about during their ambassador consultation, then we're missing out on future sales. So make sure that you have those items printed and that your consultants are aware of where they are and they're, again, readily available. Non-PB branded products in your spa. What do we mean by this? So there's been times that I've seen pictures that we've gone into locations or had phone calls from other, members calling here in corporate, and kind of it seems they're really, really small, but it can make a big difference in a consumer's brain. When there's a candle lit in the spa that isn't Planet Beach branded, it's not a Wix candle or an essential oil candle, or oils being sold that aren't Planet Beach products. And this isn't necessarily selling products that aren't PB, right? This is the actual usage of these products in the spa. Whether it's a lotion that's behind a desk or a lotion that's out in the bathroom for your members to use after they wash their hands. Why would you have a Jergens lotion in your bathroom when we're trying to sell Debonair? We're trying to sell the benefits of our moisturizers versus the moisturizers like Jergens that you find at a drugstore, at another retailer. So why would you help promote another brand when you have the exact same product that you're trying to push? Because what that tells your members is that you don't believe in your brand enough to use those products, so why should they? Or you don't believe in your products enough to spend the money on them, why should they? So think about that when you have non-Planet Beach candles in your rooms or lit in the lobby, or maybe you have another lotion or another soap or whatever it might be in the bathroom or in your general area for your members to use that aren't Planet Beach branded. And that can mean so many different things. I've seen Monsters sold, Red Bulls available, things like that when we could be promoting PB Clean. So it's small things like that that make a huge difference. So just think about that. Not having a designated area to showcase B2Bs. This is also a huge one. And again, like we talked about with a consultation area, it doesn't have to, take up a lot of space. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be right smack in the middle of your store for your members to trip on as they're walking in. But you should have a designated area, whether it's in the bathroom, close to the bathroom, a small table or shelf in your lobby, to where you're able to actually market and advertise your B2Bs in your spa to your members. Or maybe it's a certain area where you're doing a business of the week that you can help showcase, because that's going to show more value to those other local businesses that you're hoping to team up with. That's going to show them that you have that certain area for them to keep their business cards, or if they have any kind of guest passes or promotional items they have going on that they want you to hand out for them. Or maybe it's a table for them to come in and have a promotion in your spa for your member appreciation party day, or for another day that you're looking to or expecting to have high member or guest traffic, right? So that's going to add value to your store and to that business relationship that you're hoping to either gain or keep. Not using online appointments. Now, when we're talking about online appointments, we're not necessarily talking about this just to add value to the membership, even though we know it does, right? It absolutely adds value to your membership. Your members can now book their appointments online. It's a great way to entice your customers to want to become members versus customers, because as we know, they can't book their appointments online unless they're a member. But what this is going to do is, if your members are in the habit of booking their appointments online, then your consultants are free from having so many phone calls during the day. We want to keep our consultants free to have that hands-on and face-to-face relationship with our members as they're coming in, to have that chance to do those personal consultations, but we're not able to have that relationship building moment when we're constantly having to answer the phone, because of course we want to make sure we answer it, before the third ring, right? So if you get your members in the habit of using that online appointment, it's going to free your consultants up to be able to have those sales conversations, to have those consultations, and to give that better customer experience that's going to help them close a sale, or even bring up the conversation about pairing products or trying new services, anything like that. So it's a huge perk of online appointments. And if you're not using them now, I highly, highly suggest getting your members in the habit of it. They're absolutely going to love doing it. It's so much easier for them, and it's easier for you as well. Not enforcing the uniform policy. This is a huge one, right? I mean, it seems extremely simple, and it's not that hard to implement. All you have to do, print out a copy of the uniform policy, have your consultant sign off on it, and buy a couple smocks to keep in the store. It's so easy. It's easier for your consultants. All they have to worry about is putting on some leggings, some black tennis shoes or black flats, and a tank top. And once they get to the store, they can throw on a smock and they're done. They're ready to go. It's a hassle for your consultants that have to constantly buy black clothing or buy appropriate clothing to wear to work specifically. And whenever your consultants are coming in, first of all, they're sometimes going to run out of black. They're going to end up coming in other colors if you are enforcing black, versus the actual uniform. But these uniforms are also going to add a sense of loyalty and trust with your members. Your members are now going to look at your consultants as being professional consultants versus, some girl that just walked off the street, or some girl that could, work at the mall. Who knows? So that can absolutely help open up that conversation about our skincare products, or open up that conversation about our higher priced products, because now your members are looking at you more trustworthy and more professional, and they're going to be happy to spend more money. Not investing in the new, smaller podium. What does that mean? We talk a lot about not having your consultants stuck behind that podium or behind the desk. We want them out there. We want them talking and mingling with customers. We want them walking them to services. We want them up and moving around, because that's what's going to promote more sales. If they're constantly behind the podium or stuck behind the podium, they're not able to have those one-on-one conversations. They're not able to make things more personal. And they're stuck behind that podium. They're not able to go and walk up to customers as they're looking at their product shelves. So that's a huge, huge perk of that smaller podium. It's so easy to jump from behind it. And honestly, I mean, for the most part, you're not necessarily behind it. You're constantly moving around. Commission structured compensation favoring paid in full. So huge faux pas, right, is that we want quick cash and we want it now. So we want to compensate our consultants for selling a small package, some sessions, a month, whatever it might be. And that's a huge faux pas. And that's typically when you'll start to see a lack of EFT increase. You'll see a lot of single sessions sold. And you'll see a lot of small paid in full sold. And that's not going to help build your business. So make sure that you're looking at your commission structure, and make sure that you are following our preferred structure, and that you're paying attention to things like compensating on paid in fulls, because your consultants will easily get in a habit of order taking. And why not, right? Because they're making the same commission off of that 1 month that they would off of a membership. So what's it to them which one they sell? The month is easier, so I'm just going to go for the month. So make sure that you're looking at that, and you're making sure that your compensation guide is favoring that EFT sale over the paid in full. Not overlapping employee schedule for busier times of the day. What does that mean, right? We're not necessarily here talking about how you need to up your payroll, right? We know that, that can be tricky for a lot of us. Payroll is a huge expense, if not one of the largest. So we're always looking to save on payroll, and that's why we talk so much about spending that time on training, so that we can make sure you're getting the most out of your payroll. But a huge faux pas is never having 2 consultants at the store at the same time. And you may be thinking, well, I'm not busy enough for that, or I'm not making enough sales to make sense of paying 2 people there at the same time. But what if I told you that not having two people there at the same time could be why you're not making enough sales, right? That could absolutely be why. Think about your busier times of the day or of the week, and think about how you want your consultants to be performing in the store. Do you want them being order takers? Do you want them being glorified room attendants? Do you want them running around and spending so much time cleaning services and setting beds that they're not able to have any kind of sales opportunities? They're not able to have that conversation. If they had a new guest come in right this second, they wouldn't even have a moment to have a short consultation with them because they're too busy running around. And that's when that second person is there to help, because one person can be running around doing all the operations for the store while your second person is either out promoting, right, doing your prospecting, hosting a promotion. They're there to be specifically assigned to any red appointments or guest traffic that you're planning to have. Or maybe it's that marketing item that we had for that day, are sending an email blast, posting on social media, changing up our Facebook ad, whatever it might be. Maybe that's what that person is designated to do that day. That way you always have someone, a second person there for that busier time to make sure that you're not missing out on any sales. Another thing that can do is if you have a second person there, that second person can easily help close a sale. I know you probably, a lot of us are working in the spot on the daily, and so I'm sure that you have had that experience where you've had a member or a guest come in and you're talking to them about a product and you're about 80% sold when you feel like you lost the customer. You know what I mean? You feel like you did something, you might have said something, or you weren't pushy enough, or maybe you were too pushy and you just lost the sale when you already had it, right? You outsold them. That's when that second person can kind of come in and help that sale, right? Because now that member is probably sick of you talking about how much you love PB Clean and how much, you've gotten your whole family on it, you love it, you've gotten rid of Red Bull. But when it comes from a second person, whether it's a member or a second consultant, now it's adding more value to their experience, right? Now it's two people talking about how great this product is versus the one. Or maybe that second person has a certain pitch that member may react better to. So they're able to kind of save that sale for you. So that's another benefit of kind of overlapping on the schedule, on the employee schedule for those busier times of the day or of the week. Not charging solution fees or for additives. Now, fingers crossed that everyone on this call right now is saying, why would someone do that? Why would someone not charge for a solution fee, or why would someone not charge for additives? But these stores are out there, and it is silly, right? I mean, especially we're talking solution fees. This is a huge, huge, huge factor in our retail or our mem cash, depending on how you're bringing up these solution fees, depending on what sunless spray unit you actually have. There's so much money to be made in this way, and you're definitely missing out on so much if you're not charging for those. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. I just kind of wanted to throw that in there because it is a huge Planet Beach faux pas. If you're not charging solution fees or for additives, anything like rentals for mat and towel, or for bronzer if you have PB Glow, or if you have an Auto Bronze, or even the Norbel, and you're not sure, I didn't know I was supposed to be, charging for these things, reach out to your spa performance consultant and we can kind of walk you through on why you should be charging for these and how you can help incorporate that into your members without getting them upset with you. Not enforcing the telephone script and log. I believe this is the last one on our faux pas, and it's a huge one. In franchisee school, we talk a lot about phone power and how the phone is one of the most expensive pieces of equipment in your spa. And you may be thinking, well, that's silly. It cost me $30, $80, maybe $100 to buy that telephone. My computer is way more. My employees are way more. I have a Velocity that costs me way more to get in here, right? But what we mean by that, by saying that's your most expensive piece of equipment, that's the piece of equipment that can make or break a sale in a heartbeat. So if your consultants are not using that telephone script every single time they answer the phone, and they're not using that TI log to log all of those calls, then we're missing out on so many sales. We're constantly missing out on sales. So make sure that you are enforcing that And you can easily find our telephone script in the telephone inquiry log on Orion. So make sure if you're not using that, you begin to use that as soon as possible. So I just wanted to show you guys some examples of these Planet Beach faux pas, right? We talked about not having an area for consultation. This is actually one of our brand new locations in Jersey Village in Houston, Texas. And they have this adorable small consultation area where they do their senior consultations, they do their new member consultations, even cancellation consultations right here in this area. It's a small little nook that they can bring their members back and have those personal conversations without other members overhearing, especially if it's something like a cancellation consultation and your members are talking about them having financial issues. You definitely don't want to be having those conversations through a desk, right? With you behind a desk and that member in front of it, or even in the front lobby where other members are coming in and out, maybe even having a seat next to you waiting for their service. You want to create that one-on-one experience, and this is a great example of how to do that. Don't have equipment out, right, that isn't in use. So if you have a service that's down, make sure you have that door closed. Make sure that your customers don't know that this is down or it's not out in the open for new guests to see as they walk by, right? Making the most of your square footage. We talked about this. This is a great small little waiting area where they have a massage chair, they have oxygen therapy, they even have our Umo hand facial. Now again, this is not a room that we're looking at right now. This is a small nook in the hallway of a spa that this franchisee said, hey, I have all this space. I could either put a couch here, I could make some decorations, or I can take advantage of it and provide my members with more services or with another great waiting area. So this is a great area to have for a member that comes in too early for an appointment, maybe didn't book an appointment, so they're having to wait for their next service, or even they're coming in, to get some quick oxygen therapy. This is a great way to use your square footage. Rather than just putting up decorations or putting up a couch, you can actually take advantage of that and throw some extra services in there as well. Now, some of these services, your Umo hand facial, your oxygen therapy, these aren't necessarily going to sell you some more memberships, right? I've heard very few memberships sold because of oxygen therapy or because, I want to come in and just do the Umo hand facial, but it is a great additive, right? It adds value to that membership. And it's a great value for, like I said, when your members are coming in too early or waiting, or you had a new guest come in unexpectedly and your appointment book is booked, you have no other services to put them in. This is a great area to have them come in and relax and wait until we do have an opening. This is an example of having a designated area in your spa to help promote your B2Bs or even any kind of specials that you have going on. As you can see, they do have some brochures, some flyers for other businesses in the area. They also have a suggestion box, which is a great idea. That's enticing their members to give feedback on how they can improve, as well as now they're promoting spa parties. That's something that I've heard a lot of our locations saying they're having the most difficult time with, is booking spa parties. Well, maybe it's time to look at how we're promoting it, if at all, right? How are you promoting it to your members? Are you promoting it to them? Are you just talking about it? Or is it out and up in the open for your members to see as they're visiting? You can also use a table like this, right, for general every single day, have it there to promote your B2Bs. And then when you have a special party or a promotion that you have going on, like member appreciation party, and you want your B2Bs to be able to come in and market to your members, just like you would want to go there, you can actually have this designated area for them to be able to bring in samples, products, handouts, whatever they wanted to do, and they can kind of decorate, however they want. An example of that big desk we were talking about, right? That's so hard to get out from behind. Do you still have this big desk or one that looks similar to it? And is this how you're having those conversations? Is this how your staff is dressed, right? Are they still dressed like a tanning salon employee? Are they dressed like they work at Forever 21? Or are they dressed like they work in a spa? This is a great example of how quickly you can turn your spa consultants into spa consultants, right? Now that they're in uniform, they look professional, they look like skincare professionals, they look like someone that I would want to approach and talk to about anti-aging products, about red light therapy, about weight management. They look like they know what they're talking about. Just a actual testimonial, right, from those girls that were just wearing the spa consultants. They were from Helena, Montana. They implemented the uniform policy, and just like that, within hours, right, they got great customer feedback from members. The staff sold more because they felt more confident. They were able to talk and sell higher priced products, and they were taken a lot more seriously and respected. So just a couple of things that it seems so simple and small, right? Oh, well, I have my consultants wearing all black, it's fine. But it's not, right? Just having that smock, it's not only easier and more convenient for your consultants, but it also adds that professionalism that you may not have in your store as of right now. So those were our Planet Beach faux pas. So, like I said, just kind of some general things that were kind of big no-nos, right? And easy to change or to implement in your store. More specifically, we want to talk about our retail display. And you may not realize that something as simple, right, as how you're displaying your retail can make a big change or a big difference in your retail sales. We're going to go through some of the things that you can do to make sure that you're making the most out of your retail shelving to promote the most amount of sales. Keep your product shelves stocked, right? That's a no-brainer. And why? Why do we need to keep it stocked? Well, one, you want to make sure that you have a variety of products, right? Not just tanning lotions, not just facial stuff or body stuff. You want to make sure you have a wide variety. You also want to make sure that you're keeping your products stocked and that you have at least 4 to 6 of each item on display. You don't want to have just one product of everything or, one of every product on display. That's showing your customers that either one, you don't have that much stuff to sell, or two, it becomes decoration, or three, in their brain, if there's 3 of everything, if there's 1 of everything, and then a bunch of some other stuff, that's telling them that you could not sell that last bottle, right? And why couldn't you sell that last bottle? In a consumer's brain, they're thinking that this product isn't a good product, or it's not high quality, or members didn't like it, no one wants it, no one wants to buy it. That's why it's still there. So it's small things like making sure you have at least 4 to 6 of these products that's going to trigger in your consumer's brain to say, hey, there's 4 of these are in high demand, I need to hurry up and get me one. Don't overly decorate your shelves. And why, right? I love holidays, I love Christmas, I love Halloween. I decorate my house for every single holiday. And I know a lot of you guys are extremely festive as well, and you like to decorate your spas, and that's great. Hey, we decorate constantly for a member appreciation party. We love themes, we love holidays, but find some other ways to decorate rather than just your shelving. And you can absolutely decorate your shelving. You can, do a couple things here and there. But once you overly decorate your shelves, then your shelves become decoration. They're no longer items to sell, right? When your consumers are coming in, they're no longer looking at you as a retail store, as somewhere that they can walk up to these shelves and find a product. Now they're looking at them as, oh, that's cute, that's pretty. And we don't want them to look at our shelves and say that they're pretty. We want them to walk up to our shelves and say, hey, I need this. Keep products organized by regime or by result. So what we mean by that is we know most of our shelving are organized by relax, glow, and renew, right? Well, where that's great, and we can certainly continue to follow that, you also want to make sure that just because you have glow products doesn't necessarily mean that you're not keeping them organized. Have your UV lotions on one shelf, your sunless on another, and your body products, right? Anything that's going to help your glow, your exfoliants, your daily moisturizers, anything like that, separately. And what we mean by that is you want your shelves to be easily shoppable, So you want to use your shelf talkers. You want to organize them in a way that is easy for your members to follow. It's easy for them to walk up and say, hey, I'm looking to get a tan. This is where I need to go. Or I'm looking for weight management. This is where I need to go. It's also going to help you as a consultant, as if you're talking to a member about weight management and they're already using Enhance, they're already using contour oil, and you have the bottle, right? You have Enhance, contour oil, and what else you have right next to them? Probably a buff or a scrub, right? Well, that's going to trigger in your member's brain, hey, I already have these two and they're next to each other. What's this other one? Well, and then that opens up that conversation of how they can incorporate a great exfoliant like scrub or buff into their regime that's going to help, their results. And that's a great way for you to organize it to where you're not necessarily having to bring up all these conversations. Your conversations will be brought up by your members because they're going to see these products and they're going to know where to look for them. And like I said, they're easily shoppable and easy to push product bundles. When we're talking about regime or result as well, we're also talking about different things like your facial line. Sure, you want to keep all your facial line together, but how are you organizing it? Are you organizing it by skin type? Are you organizing, skin condition? Or are you organizing it by the bottle size? Just because it looks prettier. You want to make sure that how you have your product shelves, especially something like your facial line, your body line, that you have this organized to where it's easy for you to train your staff and it's easy for you to train your members. It's easy for you to talk about these products with your members. We all know a lot of our facial bottles, a lot of our body bottles, they look a lot alike. They can get extremely confusing to someone who isn't that familiar with them. So make sure that you're organizing those shelves in a way that it makes it easier, right? You have your 3-step kit in order, your cleanse, your polish, your energize. You have your anti-aging kit in order. You have your acne control system in order. And the same for your red light products as well. You have those in order and separated by skin condition. What are you looking to, I'm looking for some anti-aging products. I'm looking for some anti-acne products. Well, this shelf's going to be for you. This is going to be your first step, your second. If it's that easy for you, it's going to be that easy for your members. So look at how you're organizing your product shelves and make sure that you're organizing it in a way that's easily shoppable. It's easy to push product bundles, and it's organized by regime or by result versus how the bottle looks, the shape of the bottle, or even the color of the bottle. Rotate your product shelving frequently. What's this going to do if you constantly have your UV lotions in the lobby right in front of your couch? Well, what's that going to mean? Well, typically that's going to mean that that's all you're going to sell. You're going to sell UV lotions because that is what is in your member's face. They're not even going to realize you have any other kind of products because maybe they're behind your desk or maybe they're on another shelf that isn't as easily accessible. Make sure that you're rotating things around. Even if it's rotating it from the right side of the shelf to the left side or from the second shelf to the third shelf. Move those things around and move them around frequently to keep your members on their toes. I know that a lot of you will find your members typically walk up to one certain shelf and that's where you want to keep anything that you're pushing that week, anything you're trying to get rid of, right? And you want to keep that fresh because you'll have PB Clean on your shelf for years, right? But the second that you move it to that popular shelf, your customers are like, whoa, what is this? When did you get this? I never saw this before. It's like a brand new product to them. So make sure that you're moving that around to help introduce other products to your customers. Keep your product of the week fun and exciting. We definitely promote product of the week. We push it in our weekly newsletter every single week. We put out artwork to help you guys display this in your store. So make sure that you're keeping it fun. Make sure that you're not just using acrylic and replacing the artwork every week and not necessarily talking to your members or pushing it on a daily basis. Make sure that you're keeping it fun. Give out samples. Let your customers try your product of the week. If it's Infuse that we're promoting this week, put a bottle on your podium or in the bathroom and let your members try it. Once you put that product in their hands and they can touch it and feel it and smell it, they're going to be way more likely to buy it. Don't put samples on display. What do we mean by that? Don't hang up your UV lotions, your samples, right? Don't put your red light tri-packs, your PB Renew tri-packs on display. What is that promoting to your customer? Hey, I could spend $200 on this PB Renew 3-step kit, or I can spend $12 and just try it, right? Maybe I can spare it enough to where I get 3 or 4, services out of it. You don't want your customers doing that, right? Those samples are to help a sale or as a last case scenario. So make sure that you're not putting those on display. You're keeping those behind the desk and far away from your consumer's eye. That way they're not asking about it, because again, that is a last chance sale right there. Highlight new products. We talked about moving around retail products, or maybe you have a certain table that you keep in the hallway or on the front desk by the sign-in table. Anything in that way that's going to help you highlight a certain product, a new product that you just got in, to help open up that conversation to new members and throw that product in your customer's face. Maybe it's not even a brand new product, right? Maybe it's just the product of the week that you're trying to promote, that, like I said, your shelves been so stale, you've had your product staying in the same place for so long that your customers didn't even realize you had that anymore. It became decoration to them. Place your most popular items or any sale items in the back. Why would you want to put that in the back? Why would you want to hide it? Well, what that's doing is that's forcing your members to have to walk past other retail shelving or walk past other products to even get to it. So that's forcing them to look at these other shelves or walk past these other products, and hopefully that's enticing more sales, right? We want to sell them more than just that one popular product that they come in for all the time. We already know they're going to refill on. We want to get them set up on some new products too. Place your higher priced products at eye level rather than the top shelf. A lot of people will put your highest priced lotions on the top, or maybe it's your facial line you put on the top line, or your PB Renew, anything that's higher priced you put on the top, right? Maybe you do that so that it's easier for you to sell, or just because your consumers assume that that's how it's going to be set up, but trick them, right? This is something that other popular retailers do. When you put the higher priced products at eye level, that's the first thing that they see. So what do they do? They pick it up. We already talked about it. Once you put that product in their hand, once they picked it up, they're so much more likely to purchase it. So put those higher priced products at eye level rather than the top shelf. Just a quick little tip to help you make some higher price sales, right? We want to push those products. So some retail do's and don'ts. Do, right? This is a great example of how to organize your shelves to where it's easily shoppable and separated by regime, right? We have our facial line at the top, because even though those might not be our higher priced products, those are certainly high value, right? We have our higher priced products at eye level, our red light therapy. And we also have our nutrition line, I apologize, on the bottom shelf. So it's easily organized, it's easily shoppable, and it's extremely stocked, right? So all these products look like they're in high demand, and they look like they're for sale. They're set up in a way that it's not decoration. It is appealing to the eye, however, it's not overly decorated. Another great example, notice on the top shelf there's decorations on the top shelf. What does that do? Well, that allows for you to give up one whole shelf so that you can push all your other products down to make your shelves look more full. That's a great trick to use if you're running low on products, or you're trying to hold off as long as possible from making another retail order. It's a great way to trick your consumers into thinking that your shelves are full, even if they're low. And again, we talked about then we're able to actually push our higher priced products to that second shelf to be at eye level rather than keeping them on that top shelf. Again, another perfect example, keeping your shelves stocked and organizing it by regime. Now look at this. We have the 3-step kit. We have our anti-aging kit. We have our anti-aging kit. And it's all organized by results, as well as your sunless, right? Organized in order of how you would use those products. What do we not want to do? You don't want to allow your shelves to get extremely bare. This has no real effect on me, right? To me, it looks like you don't have anything for sale, and there's no real organization going on here. We have some UV products, some nutrition, and then also some weight management. And we also we have one of everything, right? Except for this Indulge, we have one of each UV lotion, one Slim Body Wrap. To me, that's telling me that you couldn't get rid of that last bottle, and that's why it's still there. And if no one else wanted to buy it, I certainly don't want to buy it. Don't have, this is an example of a lack of organization, right? We have, first of all, we have our Mystic cartridges on display with our additives, and that's not necessarily a huge faux pas, right? We can certainly have our Mystic on display, but you definitely don't want to have that on your main retail shelving, right? That's kind of like an assumed sale. Anyone that's looking to get a spray tan, they're going to get a cartridge. You're not really going to buy a cartridge unless you're getting a spray tan. So there really isn't that big of a reason to have that on display unless you're looking to fill some shelf space and you don't necessarily have any decorations. But we don't have any organization here. We have Mystic, we have some sunless products, and then we have our facial line, right? Just right smack in the middle. And what is all this? This is all on our Relax shelf. So we're really all over the place here. And not only that, but here we have Sticky Feet on display. Now, we talked about the cartridges not really being necessary to be on display. There's certainly no need for our Sticky Feet to be on display and on the top shelf nonetheless. So certainly a don't. Another example, one, we still have the Mystic cartridges on display, but not only that, we're trying so hard to fill up every shelf that now our 3 shelves of UV lotions look extremely low. So a better option here would have been to get some decorations, put them on the top shelf, and push all of those other shelves down to give it the illusion that they're more full, right? And don't overly decorate. We talked about not overly decorating your shelves for holidays, but what about in general? Here, you look at this, we certainly have a couple products here on sale. I see a Slim and Smooth kit, we have a Sunless kit, and we also have some collagen masks. However, there's so much going on, so many decorations, there's candles, there's rocks, there's pamphlets, there's so much going on that if I was a consumer, I wouldn't even realize any of this was for sale. I would think that that JWoww is decoration versus a product that they're trying to push. And I can probably guarantee that bottle of JWoww's probably been there a while because their consumers have the same assumption that I would. And last but not least, don't put samples of UV lotion on display. And we talked about why, right? We talked about we don't want our consumers to buy a sample of this product. We want them to buy the full bottle. Now, the sample packets are meant for us to push or save a sale, right? If someone's not 100% sold on that UV lotion, we may want them to try a sample to just kind of consolidate or, push them over the edge for that sale, but we don't want them to just come in and buy a sample. And if it's on display and they know it's available, they're going to be more inclined to buy a sample versus if it was out of eye view. So that's pretty much it for our retail shelves. So service room setup for success. What are some things that we can do for our service rooms to make sure that we're setting them up for the maximum amount of sales, right? Signage promoting product pairing. This is a huge one. You can use menu boards or you can make your own product pairing suggestions. This is a great idea to keep in your rooms because sure, we want to make sure that we're walking all of our members to their rooms and making sure that we are asking, do you have your contour oil today? What products are you using in here today? But it's one thing for them to hear it from a consultant that they are probably under the assumption that we get commission to sell them something. But it's another thing for them to see it themselves and almost make that decision themselves that they want to buy that product. So having that signage in the room saying, hey, do you have your PB Renew today? Stop. Did you forget to get Hypertan with your spray? Something like that that's going to entice them to really think about it. Sure, when we talked about their Mystic cocktail, we absolutely asked them about an additive, we asked them about aromas, but now they're in their room and they're seeing it again, it's that trigger that, hey, you know what, tell me about those aromas again. So having signage in the room promoting those kinds of things are really going to help you kind of upsell those members or convince those members that were so hard to sell that product to or convince them to use a product in the service. It's really going to get them over the edge and make them want to buy that product. The menu boards in each service room. We talk about this a lot as far as having it in the room, right? Talking about product pairing. But an idea that I actually saw at one of our Nevada locations, they not only had menu boards outside of the room, so if it was a hydration room, right, they had that hydration service board outside of the room, so as they were walking them in, they were able to see that suggested product pairing, and the consultant, it was a trigger for them to say, hey, what products are you using in here today? But when they went in and they're getting undressed, they're applying their product, and now they're laying into the service for 20, 30 minutes, they actually had something in that room for that member to look at. And what that was it was a menu board for a different service. So maybe it was promoting red light therapy, or maybe it was the Sonotox menu board. So what that was doing is it gave that member something to look at as they were getting ready, as they were relaxing, but it was also a subliminal message selling them another service. So we all know what that's going to do. It's going to help keep their results. And if we get our members using multiple services, it's going to retain that member a lot longer. So I thought that was a great idea, especially for our members that are coming in and only tanning or only using hydration, only using slim cap, only using one service. That's a great way to get them introduced to other services without having to constantly push them and talk to them about it. What kind of services do we have, right? Do we have a variety of services? Do we have relax services? Do we have glow? And do we have renew services? Multiple services in one room. This is another great example of how to take advantage of the square footage in your spa. If you have a large room, why just put one service in there and fill it up? Why not add multiple services in there? Why not allow yourself to offer multiple services, even if you don't have extra rooms for it? Why not squeeze it in? You want to offer as many services as possible with the small square footage that you have. So don't ever feel like you can't offer multiple services. We're huge in multitasking these days, right? And I'll show you some examples of how you can put multiple services in one room. Materials and amenities readily available. So what does that mean, right? That's hair nets, that's vitamin concentrates, that's robes, that's towels, that's all these things that that aren't maybe not necessarily going to make a sale, but it might hinder a sale. If your consultant is having to run around look for a new robe or a clean robe, that might stop them from having a couple of seconds to talk to another member about a product or about a purchase. So make sure that you have those readily available, and I'll give you guys an example of that as well. So some examples of this, right? This is a great example of an image or promotional item that you can hang up in a room, like hydration or like a weight management slim capsule near your Hotbox Detox, to promote these products, right? This is great to have them while they're putting on their lotion, they're adding their products in the room. That's promoting other products, or it's promoting product pairing. This is a great example of having your amenities readily available. That way, when your consultants are busy, they're rushing, they're having to clean the service before the next one comes in, they're not having to run around looking for towels because this room is fully stocked with extra towels. You have your vitamin concentrates right there. You don't have to go run to the storage room to get them to fill up your hydration. You don't have to go running around the laundry room, searching through the dryers, trying to find some, new clean robes, because they're readily available here. It's going to save your consultants so much time, and it's showing your members that they can use these items because it's not your only robe, right? You have plenty to go around. This is a great example of how to take advantage of a service room by offering multiple services in one room. Why not, right? Why not have multiple services if you have that room? Why waste that space on just a sauna when you can throw in a massage chair and an Umo in there? Why not? Take advantage of it. That's more services that you can offer to members, and that's more memberships that you can close, and more members that you can service at the same time. And then again, another example of how you can service how you can use multiple services in the same room, right? Many of us that have our massage chairs have that as a multi-use room. So you're pairing that service with a facial, with a teeth whitening. It's such a great example of using multiple services in one room and how to take advantage of the square footage, especially if you don't have a large spa or a lot of space for a new service, right? Just going to go through Spa Intel database pretty quickly because most of us should know, right? One of the other most expensive things in our spa is our Spa Intel database, and that's because it's filled with so many prospects, so many names and numbers of past guests, past members, people that we can easily contact and get back in the door. So again, another piece of expensive equipment in our spa that we want to make sure we're taking full advantage of is our computer with our Spa Intel database. And that's for prospecting, right, for new member follow-up, because what's new member follow-up going to do? That's going to make us actually set our members up on regimes. It's going to follow up to make sure they're liking their results, maybe talk to them about new products, set up their skincare consultation, get them set up with at-home products. And then, of course, that ambassador program as well, having that ambassador consultation, that's going to help us get referrals and get new guests and new members in the door. So just something, right, to take advantage of in your spa. All right, so sales and marketing. So this is going to be the last category we're talking about. And what we mean by sales and marketing is how are you taking advantage of the square footage in your spa to promote your sales, and how are you promoting them, right? So are you putting your sales on display? Do you have acrylics in each room that you can put specials in? So while your members are in there getting ready for their service, they're reminded of this special that you've already told them, right? Because we're making sure that we're telling our members about any kind of specials or promotions we have going on as we're walking them to their room. But then when they get in that room, they close the door, bam, they're reminded of that special. Or maybe there's some more details on that flyer that consultant wasn't able, to go into too much detail on. So then once they come out of that service, we're then saying, hey, just wanted to remind you about that special we had going on. Make sure you see if you wanted to take advantage of it. I know how much you love our candles. Let's go ahead and get you set up. So now, instead of just hearing about it once, now they're being reminded of the special 3 times. Not only in the service rooms, but what about in the other areas, right? Do we have anything in the lobby? Do we have anything on the front door? What about in the hallway as they're walking from one service to the other, or in the bathroom? Make sure that we're constantly putting our sales on display because we're proud of them. We want to push them. The whole reason we're creating sales is to increase our sales in the store, right? So make sure that you are putting that in display. If you don't have any acrylics, I highly suggest getting them now. And not only putting them in the acrylics, right, because it makes it more professional, more legit that you have a special in a frame, but make sure that you're moving those frames around. Don't just have it in the back of the spa, crossing your fingers hoping someone sees it. And also don't keep it in the same spot. You gotta move it around. Very similar to your retail sales, that stuff gets stale very easily. And things become decoration for your members where they just look right past it. They don't pay any attention to it. So make sure that you're moving that stuff around and keeping it fresh and keeping it exciting and keeping your members on their toes. The same thing about your sales, right? You can also make sure that we're keeping the benefits of the ambassador program on display as well. Do you have anything in your spa saying, ask me how to get your membership for free? Or refer a friend today, get a month for free. Anything like that, talking to them about how they can start earning ambassador rewards. I think what we're doing mostly is relying on our consultants to have those conversations, whereas we all know we can get busy really easily and things slip and fall through the cracks, whereas if we have something on display, that's kind of like a backup for us. Just in the event that I wasn't able, to have that conversation, or I forgot, or got too busy, in the least case scenario, they can kind of see that on display, and if they're interested, it'll be a trigger for them to talk to the consultant about it or bring it up. Business of the week or of the month on display, right? We talked about having an area for you to promote your B2Bs, or for you to be able to have your B2Bs to come in and promote themselves. So that's another great thing to make sure you're having on display. Product of the week. right? Not only do we want to keep this on display, but we want to keep it exciting. We want to make it fun. We want to give samples. We want our members to be excited about what's the next product that we're going to highlight. Whether it's, we put it on sale, right? It's a special that we have going on, or if it's something like Indulge that we can kind of make little treats or give samples to, make shakes in the spa. If it's a candle, we can make sure we light that candle that whole week and talk to your members about it, make sure they're smelling it, make sure that they're looking at it, or even putting those candles in the rooms. That way, whenever you're bringing your members in the room, you're lighting the candle, it's that specific candle. It's little things like that that you can do to keep Product of the Week exciting. Keep it changed up, right? Don't just keep that same ask me about our product special image in an acrylic with one bottle next to it. Keep it fun, keep it exciting. Keep it fresh, right? Give out samples. Let your members try it. Let your members hold it in their hand. Because we talked about that a couple of times now, right? That's just going to enhance the chances that they're actually going to purchase that product. Right? We talked about that. Samples and giveaways on display. What about other than ways to market in your store? But things that you can do in your store to market in the outside world. Are we doing anything for email blasts? Are we using Constant Contact? Are we using MailChimp? Are we using anything to market to our members, to our referrals, to our guests, to our database without relying on them to come into the store and see it in the spa? Definitely hanging up images and sales and promotions in the store is great, and that's really going to help you to market to those members that are coming in on a daily basis. But what about those that aren't? Make sure that you're not forgetting about them. The whole reason that we push a lot of sales is to get more people in the door. So if we're only marketing those specials to the people that are already coming in, then we're already failing, right? We can't expect a special to bring in more people if we're not marketing it to people that aren't coming in at the moment. So email blasts are a great way to do that. And that's something that you can do or have your consultants do on a slower time of the day or on the slower, day of the week. That way you're not having to overlap on scheduling. You're not having to pay multiple people payroll to go out prospecting, to have, one person outside, one person inside. This is something that they can easily do in the store to market to the outside world without ever having to leave the spa. Easy texting for text messages. Extremely similar to our email blast. That's a way for us to market to our database, or market to our referrals, market to the outside world without having to leave the store. Easy texting is one that we've used, easytexting.com. And these things, your email campaigns, your texting campaigns, those things unfortunately are not free, but they're extremely affordable and they're worth it. It's definitely worth investing in. Like I said, because you're not having to dish out more for payroll. You're not having to rely on your consultants that they're going out and actually handing out guest passes or actually getting leads. You're able to market to your database within your own spa and without taking up too much time. You can certainly do one-on-one phone calls and one-on-one text messages, and I don't want anyone to shy away from that because it's extremely effective and we should absolutely continue to do it. But for those times that we're low on time, or just to layer our communication, these are great tools to have to make sure that we're marketing without having, to use up too much time. Google Voice for text messaging, right? That's a great one-on-one texting that's free. If you're in a position you're not able to afford even, $30, $40 for a month of easy texting, you can still do that one-on-one texting with Google Voice. You can actually text up to 5 people with one message. So that can help you, right, save some money. It just may take you a longer time to market to the same amount of people if you're doing one-on-one texting versus your text blast. And what about social media? Make sure that you're taking advantage of this free marketing tool. Facebook is free. You don't have to pay to set up your account. You don't have to pay to post. You can certainly pay to boost a post or pay to do a Facebook advertising, and that's certainly an option, and it's, again, extremely beneficial, but you don't necessarily have to, right? There's ways that you can market on Facebook for free, and that's making sure that you're engaging with the people that like your page, that you are doing specials on there, you're promoting your specials, you're promoting everything like that on social media. That's another free way to market to people outside of your spa to get them to come in. You can also join different Facebook groups. There's garage sales on Facebook groups. There's very similar to like our franchise community. There's other organizations that create groups as well, that if you actually join their group, you can promote to thousands of people in that group. So that's another great free way to advertise to people without having to pay for it. Because as you know, with your Facebook, if you're posting something, it's only the people that have liked your page are going to see it. Whereas if you're choosing and joining these Facebook groups, you're able to advertise to people who may not have heard of Planet Beach before or may not have been in. That's a great way to get new guest traffic. Even posting Google Forms in there, virtual guest passes. Great, great, great tips. So those were some ideas of make sure that you're promoting and marketing your sales correctly. But let's talk about the actual sales that we are pushing, right? What sales are we pushing in the spa? Are you pushing the same old sale, or are we switching it up? How many sales are you running? Why is that important, right? The more sales, the better, right? No, of course not. Don't confuse your clients. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Run one, maybe two specials at the same time, unless it's a special day like MAP or a special holiday where you're doing something maybe for everyone or a little more fun. But then too, make sure that you're keeping it stupid simple. So, and what that means is if you have too many promotions or too many sales going on, that's too much for you to tell your members about. It's too much for you to promote in your spa. It's too much to be able to post on social media. If there's too much going on, then your message gets lost because it becomes too wordy or it becomes too long. We have short attention spans. You probably get the first couple of lines or the first couple of words that you say, and that's probably about it. So just to keep in mind, whenever you are running specials, make sure that you're only running one or two and that you're pushing those hard, right? It's not about how many specials you have going on, but it's about the quality of the special, and it's about how well you market it, because your success is correlated with the time and effort you put into it. Just like we said, we can't just put up some posters in the store and expect that it's going to get us new guest traffic. That's absolutely not how it works. So make sure that you're keeping those things in mind when you're choosing your specials and when you're trying to layer specials as well. What kind of sales are you running, right? This is another special thing that we need to look at because, like I said, are your sales getting stale? Are you running the same thing constantly? We got to keep it fresh. We got to keep it different. We got to keep our members engaged and excited. So sell and give samples, right? That's a great way to get people in the door, is to do a giveaway. Give them something, right? Even if it's like we talked about with the product of the week, if you're pushing Buff, give small samples of Buff. Give small samples of Scrub to be able to use before their service. Scrub is a great one to give samples to because they can use it dry. And that's an easy way to show someone the perks of using an exfoliant before any service, right? They can use that before any service, before putting on any product. But if you're giving those away, it's exciting. It gets people to want to come in the door. If I come in today, I can get a free sample of Scrub. I've been thinking about it anyways. Let me go try it. And that's going to, again, put that product in their hand. It's going to get them using the product, and it's going to sell them on that product right away. It's also an easy way for you to keep the product that you're pushing on the top of someone's head because now they've touched it, they felt it, they've actually used it. It's not everything that's blue is for sale, right? No, it's this product is for sale. This is the one we're pushing, and we're very, very specific and pushing it hard. Advertise specials like 2 for $30, 2 for $50, 2 for $20, right? Depending on the price of the products. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a sale. What some retailers actually do, if a product's $15, rather than advertising this product for $15 or this product for $14.99, they advertise get 2 for only $30. So that product isn't on sale. It sells for $15, right? But what that's doing to a consumer's brain is making them think that it's a sale. When you go to a store and you see something advertised, you automatically assume that it's on sale or that there's a deal going on, even if there isn't. So we're not lying to our customers, right? It is, you can get 2 for $30. but that doesn't necessarily mean that that product's on sale or that we're selling it today for a lower price than we normally do. That is going to entice them to want to buy more than just one, right? Because they feel like they're getting a deal. I could buy one, but if I get two, I can get two for $30. So that's going to help get that extra sale, get that second sale versus just the first one. So that's a great way to advertise some of your products without having to miss out on with any return for your products. Push rebates like $10 off when you spend $50. I'm sure this sounds familiar. This is one of our great spring savings that we're running right now to the end of June. This is a great promotion because it helps our members want to spend more, right? If they're buying a $35 product, well, hey, if you only spend $15 more, you can get a $10 off gift certificate. So it's really only like you're spending $5 more. Let's go ahead and get you something else. It's going to entice your members to want to spend more money because in their brain, they're thinking that they're getting a deal. But we know the chances are that that $10 rebate is going to get thrown into their purse or in their wallet. Maybe it's going to get lost. Maybe it's going to get forgotten about. That customer may not ever even bring that $10 gift certificate back in. They may never even use it. However, just using that as a bargain tool allowed us to be able to upsell that member to a higher price purchase at the point of sale. So something else to kind of keep in mind. Give a free gift with purchase. Victoria's Secret is huge for this, right? They are constantly giving away free bags with the purchase. Why not do that with our spa bags? Our spa bags cost about $6-8, right? So why not take a product like a teeth whitening kit or one of our older UV lotions that have a huge return on and throw in a free gift with it, right? Whenever you buy a teeth whitening kit for $150, you get a free bag. Well, are we really losing on that by throwing in an $8 bag, a $6 bag? No, but it's putting more value into that member's, into the money that their member's spending on that one product. And maybe they were on the edge of buying that product, but now they definitely want to get it because they want that bag. So just an example of something that you can do, or maybe it's a collagen mask, right? Collagen mask, it costs us $1, right? Why not throw a collagen mask into a purchase, right? That's a great special to run because they were going to buy that product anyways, but now they get a free gift with it. But of course, we know that that gift is low cost to us, so we're not really losing out on anything, but it's a great way to promote more retail sales. So those are some great little sales tips to use when you're thinking about what kind of specials to run or what kind of things to put up in your store to promote more retail sales. All right, so now that we've gone through all that, what now, right? Look at your spa. Are you creating a sales-friendly environment, right? And that goes from everything from the color of your walls to the music that you're playing to the organization of your retail shelves, how you're taking advantage of the square footage of your spa, and how many sales you're running and how you're promoting them, right? How many Planet Beach faux pas are you committing? Are you following any of these do's and don'ts? Maximize on the space in your service rooms to promote and push more products and more sales. Are you utilizing your database to the best of your ability? Are you marketing sales and specials, and how can you switch it up to keep it fresh? Make sure that you're taking these tips and that you're going back to your spa and implementing them, because these are all super small and easy things that you can do and change up that can make a huge difference. And these are the kind of trainings that I love the most. It doesn't take that much effort to be able to change some of these things, but the return is going to be well worth it. All right, guys. Well, I hope that you got as much out of this as I was hoping you did. Thank you guys for joining in today. And if you have any other questions or you need any further assistance with today's training, just go ahead and either contact your spa performance consultant, or you can email us at spaperformance@planetbeach.com. Alrighty, bye guys. I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your hump day.